So somebody asked a very interesting question, and this is a response to a video where I was talking about generational causes and repeating patterns. And in that video, I said that most of the things happening in your life right now is as a result of your childhood. It's repeating. It happened in your parents' life. The challenges you're facing now is repeating. It has happened in your parents and your grandparents' life. The only difference is the times we're living in, possibly the country you're living in. So let's read first. It says, how do you stop something like this from happening so that it won't be a pattern? Remember in that I talked about, in this topic though, I talked about divorces, for instance. Some lady somewhere might be having an issue with her husband, thinking her husband is the problem, until you investigate the family she's coming from. That's where you see that her mother divorced. You know, her grandmother divorced. Or her father is coming from a broken home. Now it's affecting her. Do you understand? So the man in front of her is really not the problem. Her husband is not the problem. The problem is her childhood. She's battling with her childhood. Her husband is just the victim standing in the way. Do you understand? There are many people that are born out of wedlock. When the young lady grows up, she will get pregnant out of wedlock and born again out of wedlock. True life story. So if you are born out of wedlock, you need to know that that devil, in quote, will come again, and you better be ready. Do you understand? If you are not living a conscientious life, conscientious life, like a life where you are careful and you know what you expect to battle, if you're not living that kind of life, that thing will sneak in and destroy you the way it destroys your mother's or your father's life. Do you understand? Let us look at the life of Tupac. His mother gave birth to him in prison, and where is his father? Where is his mother? They were not together. Where is Tupac's wife? The guy is dead. So look at 50 Cent. What happened to his mother and his father? Nobody knows. Where is 50 Cent's wife? Do you get what I'm saying? His family is the family he was able to build is disorganized, just like the family is coming from. Pick any celebrity at all. Look at Eminem. He sang songs in his youthful days, attacking his mother for being such a terrible mother. Guess where Eminem is now? Broken marriage. His daughter is going to grow up thinking that her mother is the problem, but it's starting from where Eminem started. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of things happening to you, even your finances. You think you're struggling, your company is not paying you well. Look at the finances of your parents. That's how you see that your company is not the problem. It's your childhood upbringing. We grow up doing what? Trying to recreate the environment we grew up in. So if a lady grows up in a very toxic environment, she will not be comfortable in peaceful relationships. If the relationship is going peaceful, she will want to create toxicity. She will attack her neighbor, she will attack the man, she will attack the in-law, she will fight with the mother of the man. Once that chaos has been created that is similar to the childhood she grew up in, that's when she's at peace. So how do you prevent this? You want to take a sheet of paper and write out all the major events you think happened in your parents' life. Where do you think your parents made mistakes? Think about it. Some of you, your father made a bad choice in the choice of woman he married. It's true that the woman is your mother, but you can see clearly that this woman is not good for that man. Some of you, your mother made a bad choice with the kind of man she slept with. Now the man abandoned her even before you were born. So in your right senses, you should never choose that kind of man. So what you do is, you write out the kind of man your father is. Is he gentle? Is he tall? Is he dark? Is he handsome? Is it this? Is it that? You try and look at his old pictures. What does he look like? What does he like? Is he into music? Does he smoke? Does he drink? Is he into some society or not? Like, write out all these things. All right? At what age did he marry your mother? You do the same thing with your mother. What kind of woman is she is? Does she cuss a lot when she's angry? Does she do this? Does she fight? Is she peaceful? How much education did she get? Is she a professor? What did she study? You write out all these things. What were her mistakes? Just take a sheet of paper and piece it down. 1, 2, 3 mistakes. At the end of how did they give birth to you? Did they get pregnant before marriage? Was your father the first husband? Like that. At the end, now you have a clearer picture of the person you want to be like and the person you don't want to be like. Now you have a clearer picture of the kind of lady you should avoid, assuming you are trying to avoid somebody like your mother or your father. Do you understand? So let's say your father is a musician, was a musician when he met your mother. He met your mother at a club or a show, and that happened. She got pregnant for you. He abandoned her, married another one, blah, 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 blah. You need to avoid musicians. They don't need to tell you. People with that kind of attitude, it will not work for you. Not that musicians are bad, but that kind of attitude will not work for you. And I can tell you for sure, that's the kind of person you'll be attracted to. Many people end up marrying a man like their father. Many end up marrying a woman that looks like their mother. Not their mother's present age, but the way she looked when she was young. Sometimes it's the same behavior. Do you understand? A good example is the one we saw, somebody called Obinna Obumseli, a Nigerian that was dating a white lady, all right? And then the lady was shown in a video in an elevator attacking him physically, trying to beat him, punching him, and he was like, avoiding to get into the confrontation. Another video leaked yesterday of his friend, the woman attacking him inside the house again in the presence of his friend. So his friend just set up a camera. The woman punched him many times, more than 20, 30 punches I counted. The guy was like, no, stop. Eventually, this woman stabbed him to death. He died. Now the woman is, there's a case against her in court. The woman stabbed him to death. So, but blacks refuse to protest, blacks in the US, because this man has already written bad things about black women. He was saying that black women are toxic, they are not good for dating. Why? All the other dates he had were black women, and these black women were behaving exactly like the white woman he eventually dated. So you see that the women are not his problem, the problem is him. From the background he's coming, he's choosing women that will physically attack him. There are people there are men that will not tolerate the slightest attack. In fact, if you say the wrong thing, that's the end of the relationship. The man can love you to death and can do everything for you, but he will never take the slightest disrespect. Don't cross that line. Not to talk of beating him like this. Oh, you don't go house now. That's the end. And if he was like that, you will see that he would never have dated such a woman, because the first time she tries it, that would have been the end of the relationship. The man will gradually gravitate towards a woman that is not violent. But it's coming from a background that no matter how many times she dates different women, it's the same profile she's dating. A woman he's slightly taller than, that is slightly aggressive, that don't fear fighting him all the time, that want to end his life. That's the kind of woman he's dating. Now look at your life. Many people will start business 1, it will fail, business 2, business 3, business is failing. And you're wondering why it's failing. Some people will say that they did witchcraft for them, that somebody is hindering their progress spiritually. But it's you. The only common factor in all these things is you. Do you know there are people that have traveled to different countries? Each country they travel to, they go to prison. True life story. Somebody will travel to Italy and boom, they have arrested him for one thing. Maybe he's not even involved in the whole thing. They are just arresting drug dealers and he happens to be there. Boom. He has ended up in jail. He does 2 years. Comes out, relocate to UK. Boom, they have arrested him again. 6 years, he's out. He moved to America. They have arrested him again. Some people are like that. Every country, they just step in and arrest. So they'll be saying that it's juju. It's not juju. If you look at your life, you will see that this guy that's been arrested, it has the, what do you call it? He has affinity for hanging out with bad guys. You know, guys that do drugs, he has the affinity. Before you know it, he's getting involved. Or maybe they're arresting people that are guilty and he just happens to be there. Most of the things that are happening in your life is as a result of your childhood. That's why before you take any major decisions that will affect your children, just know that you might be kickstarting something in your lineage that will never end. Before you leave your wife, before you leave your husband, just know that your children might be so affected that when they grow up, they will leave their wives and their husband. I've said the story, there are many ladies that grow up not knowing how to relate with a man because their mother never grew up with their father. As she was growing up, there's already a divorce. She grew up only with her mother. So when she's now trying to date, it becomes a challenge. She has never related with a man. She doesn't know how men behave. There are many men that don't know how to treat a woman because their parents were not together. These are patterns repeating.